Disclaimer, because the video portions of the following were recorded the night of the show, I've added audio-only clips regarding the aftermath throughout the review so that the viewpoints are not outdated. Hey everybody, SonGoshuaku here, and welcome to this WWE NXT Takeover 30 review. But first, make sure to hit that subscribe button followed by hitting the notification bell so that way you are notified as soon as my content is released. So I always say with these NXT shows, you know that you're always going to get a good show or a great show, but never a bad one. And NXT Takeover number 30 was definitely no exception. So I didn't watch the Takeover pre-show, but I did hear Breezango won, and hey, I'm glad to hear that because I think both of them have deserved to get some sort of tag team championship win soon. So this means they're the number one contender for it right now. So hopefully they get those tag titles. So I'm glad to hear about that. So Breezango actually did end up winning the tag team championships on NXT this past week, so definitely very happy to hear that. You know, Fandango, who I think has been with WWE since I think about 2006, this is his first non-FCW championship, and it's hard to believe with how long he's been there. And I'm very happy as well for Tyler Breeze as well, who I don't even think has had a championship at all yet. So yeah, glad for both of these gentlemen. Hopefully one of these days they are able to do something on the main roster, but for right now in NXT, very happy that both men are able to get something at least. So moving on to the main show. The first match was Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Now this match was definitely different in the sense that you don't see too many matches like this, you know, in an era where it's a lot about the athleticism, the high flying. This match right here was very much grounded like most of Timothy Thatcher's matches, and I love it. The psychology, just basically breaking down Finn Balor limb by limb. That was really awesome to see. And when Finn Balor had to go to doing some of those high flying spots, it actually felt like Finn Balor was just doing this basically to, you know, trying to put him away. What can he do? And I really appreciate that, you know, that it wasn't really anything fancy with this match, but it takes me back to a time, you know, when wrestling was a lot more about psychology and stuff, which is something that, like I said, you don't get in these matches nowadays, and that's what I appreciated about seeing this match. Now, I actually predicted in the no DQ leagues that Timothy Thatcher would actually win the match, but to my surprise, Finn Balor won. The DDT move that he called, I think it's called like the 1916 or something like that. Forgive me because I don't keep up with the NXT shows from a week-to-week basis outside of maybe just some clips and videos here and there. But yeah, I thought this match was great. Cool to see Finn Balor win, and yeah, I'm gonna be looking forward to see where they go with Timothy Thatcher from here. All right, so the next match was Cameron Grimes versus Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano versus Bronson Reed versus Velveteen Dream in a ladder match for the NXT North American Championship, which was of course vacated by Keith Lee. This match was insane. A lot of big spots, and like I said, as someone who doesn't really watch the shows from a week-to-week basis, it was great to see what some of these superstars, at least particular, I think his name was Bronson Reed. I'm looking here at the notes and everything. Bronson Reed, and hey, it was really cool. See, I loved his attire, which is tribute to Bam Bam Bigelow. So if you grew up in the 90s, you probably know exactly who Bam Bam Bigelow was. So really awesome, athletic, big guy, rest in peace. And man, you see it here, the way this guy's flying around the ring. There were so many, so like you had Johnny Gargano did this one spot where he jumped over the ropes. He does like that DDT, but he did the DDT to the bottom of the ladder, and I think it was Reed. His neck was in between him, like, oh, that could have decapitated somebody, right? And then let's see, you also had this one cool spot where at the end, Velveteen Dream basically was thrown off the ladder, but to try and save himself, I guess he jumped off of the top rope, but then landed out through the onto a table that was past the barricade. So that was pretty sick. Damian Priest had a lot of cool moments to shine here. Just like I said, it's too much to really try and recap this. This match was awesome. Plenty of great spots, so definitely go ahead and watch it. I wasn't sure if the Velveteen Dream was going to win or not, because honestly, I didn't know if WWE was going to be like, like, you know, despite all the accusations going on, just screw it and just have them win, and maybe they wanted to troll the fans or something like that. But in the end, my two picks was either going to be Cameron Grimes or Damian Priest. And Damian Priest gets the cool win here because at the end, Johnny Gargano, he almost had the championship, but Damian Priest was able to do, I think, like some headbutt or kick him off, and he wins, and there you go. So glad to see Damian Priest getting a cool push into NXT, and maybe this is basically their way of building him up eventually to become world champion. I think there's a lot of potential, great places to go with Damian Priest. I also forgot to mention too in this match, there was a cool spot where Candice LeRae got involved and basically was hanging off of the back of what's his name, Reed. He did this big splash right onto Johnny Gargano, and yikes! And then Candice just went flying right, or rolling right out the ring and everything. Like I said, too many spots in this match to recall, but check it out, it is insane. Awesome ladder match. So it looks like, based on the most recent episode of NXT, Timothy Thatcher and Damian Priest are now on course to feud over the NXT North American Championship. Well, that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. Next match, Adam Cole, baby, versus Pat McAfee. Now listen, I am by no means a sports fanatic, a sports fan, just absolutely not. So I didn't know even who the heck Pat McAfee was, but I could tell right from the start that this was obviously a work. From the moment that he started going into kayfabe mode, talking about how, yeah, you only was champion because the Undisputed Era had your back, I knew from the start. But hey, I was very impressed with Pat McAfee going into the match after seeing his promo on NXT. Now, this was the match that I thought would probably be the weakest match of the show. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to get in there, do some athletic things because he is an athlete, but it's going to be Adam Cole basically carrying this guy. And boy, was I wrong. Seriously, this match, I don't even think I would say Adam Cole carried him. I think Pat McAfee actually did very well to carry himself. Definitely a lot better than what you've seen from other celebrities or sports, you know, personalities who've gotten into the ring. Like, you could tell he had been training, and this match was really good. Like, here's what I'll say. What Pat McAfee lacked in terms of being an in-ring technician, he more than made up for it in terms of his athleticism, in terms of his salesmanship, in terms of his showboating. Like, this guy had, in terms of his psychology, he had everything. Like, just some of the tools this guy showed in the ring. It's just some of the things that you don't even see some of today's, you know, top pro wrestlers out there doing. Nothing against those guys, but man, this guy had it. Psychology. This guy, I mean, he was selling, he was just basically the showboat and everything. Like, just all the complete packages that you would love to see in a professional wrestler, he was showing here tonight. And I thought the match was good. That he did some good work punches, beautiful drop kick. We got to see him do a moonsault onto his feet and then basically do a jump right up onto the top rope and do an amazing suplex. And you know what? There was a part where he almost pinned Adam Cole, and Adam Cole barely kicked out and was like, they got me. They got me. They got me because I was almost thinking like, oh wow, and I kind of predicted that maybe Pat McAfee would end up winning this match via some screwy decision. So I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna actually put Adam Cole, have Adam Cole do the job basically clean, but that's not exactly what happened at all. Yeah, this match was really good, surprisingly really good. I think with more training, Pat McAfee is definitely showing potential from the mic to just everything that he was showing in that ring, that he has places that he can go. He's definitely got a lot of potential, I think. And one thing, I got huge respect for him for doing this, because obviously Adam Cole did go over at the end when he did a Panama Sunrise, you know, the Canadian Destroyer move. And in that moment, I have huge respect for Pat McAfee, because think about how many superstars, or I should say, you know, entertainers, sports people from the sports world have come over and defeated the WWE superstars that are there every every single day or month or year in, year out, busting their butts. And he came over there and he put Adam Cole over. And Adam Cole in NXT is arguably, you know, one of the top stars for NXT, just because he has been presented as like the longest, he's the longest reigning NXT champion of all time. So you definitely have to put a lot of respect on that character and what he's done in NXT. So I'm glad that Pat showed that, hey, he can hang with Adam Cole, but at the end of the day, Adam Cole was just that good. Great match. Like I said, just definitely the surpriser of the night for me, and it was really good. And I thought Pat McAfee, once again, he held his own in there. Alright, so the next match was for the NXT Women's Championship as Io Shirai defended the title against Dakota Kai. These ladies worked really hard in this match, but the really unfortunate part of this match was it almost ended before it started. So there was this really cool spot in the beginning where, to evade Dakota Kai's attacks, Io Shirai was doing these moonsaults and backflips, and it looked really cool until she dang near pretty much landed on her head, and oh, that could have been devastating. Just imagine the match ended just like that because she was trying to show off, I guess, in the match. But yeah, thankfully it looked like Io Shirai was okay, and yeah, like I said, both these ladies worked hard. They kept coming back at each other, working, you know, different arms and legs, and there was some really cool spots. Like Io Shirai eventually went for like a 619. Dakota Kai got out the way, and then Io Shirai caught her right in the chest. Yeah, like I said, both ladies were working really hard. There was the whole referee spot at the end where the referee got clothesline, and then that was basically your plot device so that Raquel could come in as the bodyguard and beat up Io Shirai and then wake the referee up, who magically comes back, you know, one of those old wrestling tropes and everything. But of course, Dakota Kai was very shocking. I really liked two little nice details here in the match. Like, there was a point where Io Shirai got her foot on the ropes and Dakota Kai looked at her foot slowly like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. Like, that was really cool. I like little nice psychology moments like that. But in the end, Io Shirai, you know, there was even a cool spot where she got the, you know, the crossface in, and Io Shirai then hits the moonsault, 1, 2, 3, and then Raquel comes in and beats Io Shirai up after the match, and out comes Rhea Ripley. So this is my first time seeing her new look with the black makeup and all blonde hair, which I believe is her natural hair color. I could be wrong about that, but I think that was her hair when she came to WWE, was blonde. She kind of reminded me of Tiffany, if you guys are a fan of the Child's Play series with Chucky and everything. It kind of reminded me like that, but it's like this really cool, like, you know, version of Tiffany and everything. But yeah, we saw both Raquel and Rhea come face to face, and you know, this is setting up for a big match. So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with this. So yeah, good stuff once again from the women. You know, once again, like I said, the women, both NXT and the main roster, have absolutely been tearing it up all through this whole, you know, pandemic era that we're in currently with the WWE, as we go throughout this whole, as the whole world is dealing with it, obviously. And now the main event. Keith Lee defending the NXT Championship against the person I would love to call Karrion Kross, but WWE has decided to call him Karrion Kross, of course being accompanied by Scarlett. The video package for this. Let's talk about this video package. It is one of the best video packages I have seen in the WWE in years. And we've had some amazing video packages over, you know, for example, Steve Austin and The Rock at WrestleMania 17. With Limp Bizkit, the whole, you know, My Way or the Highway. This was awesome, you know, played to the tune. First of all, the cinematography, everything that went into the dialogue, the cool visuals, the volcanoes and the fire, and just that whole, like, you know, they had like that more like sort of eerie version of the national anthem playing, and how it transitioned into was it Frantic by Metallica, which apparently, and you know, I'm no big giant fanatic of Metallica, but I do enjoy some of their songs. But apparently, I guess this came from something that a lot of their fan base might not like, not one of the most beloved albums apparently. But hey, I thought it fit really well with this video package and got me hyped up. The problem with this going into the match with the build-up, you have Keith Lee, who is on this huge momentum right now, and it's his first championship defense, I think, or major title. Well, yeah, his first major title defense in terms of TakeOver, because he did defeat, I think, what was it? He defeated Donovan Dijakovic. And then you have Kross, who basically is this monster that just came in, and you're gonna have these both men collide when they both need as much momentum as they can get. So it's really the match that neither man could lose. So how was the match? Match was hard hitting. They both went at it. I feel like this match did not kick into that high gear, unfortunately. There was a lot of portions where he was basically, Kross that is, doing a very methodical beatdown of Keith Lee's arm. There was a cool spot where he punched where it looked like Keith Lee dodged out the way, and Killer or Kross ended up, punching, his fist into the plexiglass, but it had no effect on him. So really good stuff at selling him as a monster. Both guys went at it, but as the match goes on, you could just tell how much of a toll it was taking on Keith Lee. So I did enjoy the story that they told, but like I said, there was just something about this match that it felt like it did not kick into high gear like it should have, but it still did its job good. Towards the end, Keith Lee hits the Spirit Bomb, and Kross kicks out. Then they go to the top rope. Something big's gonna happen, and I believe the move here is called the Doomsday Saito Suplex, which is like basically a side, like a back-to-back suplex, but from the side. He hit that earlier, and Keith Lee barely kicked out, but this time Kross hits it from the top rope, and I kind of thought it was gonna be like a setup or something. Like it was like 1, 2, 3, and it's over. And I got him like, whoa, like I did pick Kross to win in the no DQ league, but I just didn't expect it just felt like it came out of nowhere, and they did it. 1, 2, 3, beat him clean, and Kross is your new, just like about 1 or 2 months into NXT, is the new NXT champion. As much as I love AEW, one of my biggest criticisms, and you've probably heard me say it before if you have seen my appearances on the no DQ review, I don't like when AEW brings in all these big monsters and just basically have them lose right away. Like they did the same thing. We did it with Brody Lee. They did it with Wardlow. They did it with Lance Archer, and they recently did it with Brian Cage. So I was wondering, are they going to be alternative, different to AEW? And they were in this case by having Kross win. Here's the thing. I feel like with Kross, he had to win more so than two. If you're going to go here and book yourself into a corner where either man have to lose when they shouldn't be losing, then you might as well have Keith Lee take the loss, because at least Keith Lee is established in terms of the realms of NXT. At least Keith Lee has had a big showing on the main roster, and for all we know, he could be going towards the main roster. But when it comes to Kross, if they would have had Kross lose right here, it's like he's dead in the water. Like, oh, okay, he couldn't get the job done against a champion. He's done. He would have been done. So he needed to win this more so ever. I believe Keith Lee's character can survive this, but Kross, he absolutely needed to win if you're going to go this route. So hopefully he gets a lengthy title reign. I know, Tommaso Ciampa is coming back, so maybe they're going to do a rematch with that. However, yeah, overall, I think maybe we'll get another match and it'll be even better. But once again, like I said at the beginning of the show, and I say it all the time, the same thing goes back for like NXT Takeover in Your House, which was an awesome show. These NXT shows are constantly good to great, but never bad. And from this whole show, every match from top to bottom was good. Like I said, they were good or great, but nothing was bad. So once again, very interested to see where things go from here. NXT, really good show. So if you're a fan of the NXT brand, check it out. Definitely go ahead and check it out. Definitely some of the it's just really well done. And one thing else I do want to say I really appreciate that Triple H and his crew did for the show is that they had the 3 X's to represent the Roman numeral 30, like they did for WrestleMania 30. I don't even know, maybe it was the same X designs, but that was really cool. So I like that. Same thing like the Great American Bash and In Your House. All the NXT Takeover shows are having these different sets that make them feel like a big deal. So that's really cool. So I will be back for a review for some SummerSlam from the Thunderdome, and we'll see how SummerSlam ends up doing. Most likely NXT will end up being the better show from top to bottom because, you know, Triple H and his crew in the town, they don't do a lot of booking that makes you go like, making you, you know, just shaking your head like, what were they thinking with that? So as you can tell in that video I recorded Saturday for this review, I was very enthusiastic to see where the story was going to go from here after the main event. However, I had no idea at the time of recording that it was announced that Kross had came down with a shoulder injury, and as we saw in the most recent NXT episode, he had to relinquish the championship because of the amount of time it's going to take for him to recover. And I definitely do wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he comes back and they're able to pick right off where they left with him as the NXT champion. But man, a really unfortunate break for him. It's very eerie of the Finn Balor entrant. You know, Finn Balor, when he was on the main roster and he lost his Universal Championship due to a shoulder injury right after winning it because he had to relinquish it. However, we are getting one heck of a main event on the next episode of NXT. So we're going to get Adam Cole versus Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. You're talking about, like Cole said in his promo, the Mount Rushmore, you know, pretty much of the four guys that really built the foundation of the main event scene there in NXT. So definitely looking forward to this match, and I think Finn Balor should get the championship because the other three guys, we've already seen them have their runs with the titles, and Finn Balor, he's had his run with the title too, but if you're going to bring him back in NXT, you might as well use him in that main event position, use the leverage you get from that main roster push that he got. Also, I want to talk about Keith Lee, who did indeed end up going to the main roster. Not a fan of this new music, very generic sounding. You know, that whole theme song that Keith Lee had, Limitless, really fit his personality. However, I do know that there are in the works of a new theme, so hopefully it is something that is just as good as the Limitless theme. Also, the new ring gear, not a fan of the ring gear. You know, it just kind of came off to me as a fan as if that's their way of saying because Keith Lee doesn't have that chiseled physique, you know, he needs to cover up, when in reality, so much of what actually makes Keith Lee over is the fact that he can be so charismatic and so athletic despite not having that chiseled physique. So I don't dig the new ring gear, I don't dig the music, but let us not definitely be distracted by the fact that they're starting Keith Lee off with something really huge, and that's a feud with Randy Orton, and he's involved with the WWE champion Drew McIntyre. So definitely not the worst position you could put him on the main roster right off the bat, just to have him go right there against Randy Orton. However, I can honestly say as a fan, I do not have full 100% faith in the WWE creative process or Vince McMahon, you know, who likes to apparently, according to reports, change plans constantly, even almost an hour into before the show airs. You know, there's been so many NXT talent that have come to the WWE's main roster, and they don't even give them a chance to get over. And yes, I do understand that not every act in NXT necessarily will translate over well to the main roster, but you know, if you give someone like 4 to 6 months and you push them strong and it doesn't get over, at least you can say you tried. But some cases we've seen a lot where they push these people for maybe 2 weeks and then they just forget about them and nothing, and it's like, that's not even fair. You're not even giving them any kind of chance to at least get over. So I'm not to have too much faith that they're going to not get Keith Lee over. I am full confident that Keith Lee himself could definitely make himself over as he's done in NXT, and I'm pretty sure he's that talented. But man, you know, you just never know when these NXT call-ups happen on the main roster. So we'll see where it goes, but based on their track record, I once again am not 100% fully confident in Vince McMahon's creative process. So yeah, so overall everyone, definitely take care, and here are my plugs. Thanks for checking out the video. Remember to share, comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that way you are notified when my content is released. And check out my upcoming short film, Battle of Deception. The trailer link is right there on the screen, in the description, and pinned comment below, along with the links to follow my social media platforms. Until next time, take care.